Force resides in all living things.
I know you can do this, Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, new episodes streaming Tuesdays.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have a brand new update for Dave Filoni's Mandoverse Star Wars film. We're going to go ahead and hop right on into it. In this video we are going to be taking a read from StarWarsNewsNet.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. Dave Filoni will apparently only use the volume to shoot his Star Wars film if it still fits, saying that he has no fear of doing it in other ways. So as of recently, all eyes are currently on Ahsoka and its recent debut on Disney Plus, and I have my breakdown videos here on the channel. You guys can go check those out now. But we know since Star Wars Celebration as of this year that the Ahsoka show is simply just a small piece of the puzzle that has been in the works for now the last couple of years, and that will culminate this with a theatrical film event directed by Dave Filoni himself. Filoni, showrunner and writer of Ahsoka and creator, as well as the director of the first episode of the show, has been working on live-action Star Wars since November of 2019 with The Mandalorian, and having directed the very first episode of Season 1. It was a move years in the making, and the aforementioned film will not only cultivate the storyline that we started to follow with that show, The Mandalorian, but will also be the conclusion to its own creative arc since he started developing the Clone Wars with George Lucas. Remember that Dave Filoni has already directed a theatrical Star Wars feature film technically with 2008 Star Wars The Clone Wars movie, although for whatever reason, not a lot of people really, I guess, put it under that category of a movie. It doesn't necessarily feel or seem like it was an actual, theatrical thing, but it was. So now with The Mandalorian, Lucasfilm has introduced one of the great love stories between a fictional character and the audience, with the appearance of Grogu, Baby Yoda, at the very end, but something else was also introduced: the volume, aka the giant LED screen that Isla M and Stagecraft built inside a soundstage, and where they are able to project in real time the backgrounds that we see on the final product. It's this ultimate replacement for the long-running tradition of using green or blue screens, and that has now been in the use in so many other projects, from Marvel's Thor Love and Thunder to Warner Bros. The Batman. Even Francis Ford Coppola used it for a while in his upcoming film Megalopolis. But will Star Wars use it in their future movies? Cinema Blend recently reached out to Dave Filoni during Star Wars Celebration earlier this year and asked him if he plans to use the volume specifically with his new Star Wars film, one that doesn't even have a screenwriter announced yet, let alone a script, to which he had replied with, and quote, "That's a great question. If it applies, 100% I would. I'm fortunate to have been on the ground floor of that and having experienced it with my team. I know when it works and when it doesn't work. There are certain situations of where you absolutely want to use it, and there are certain situations of where it's better to do it on a regular stage with blue screen. There are certain situations where you just want to go outside even. You have to just know and trust your team for when it is the right time to actually use it. For me, in animation, I like to do a lot of pre-visualization. I like to work on a lot of things virtually beforehand. I can watch a cut of the film before I've shot it, and I've brought the directors of photography into the process as well, so we look at it up to it a lot up front. Yeah, I would definitely say it's on the table, but I have no fear of doing it in other ways. I think it's a great tool that you have in the box to use at this point." Ending that quote right there. Which is really, quite honestly, a lot to say with a yes or no question, which isn't bad. It gives us a lot more of an insight of what we can expect to see here for his upcoming movie, which is very exciting. And with all that being said, what it really comes down to, if it's necessary, if it's needed, or if it's not needed, and he knows, and we trust him that he knows when it's going to look good, when it's going to look bad type of scenarios, which I'm very thankful for. It's obviously too early for anyone to tell here though, also as well, including Dave Filoni himself. These are things that are a part of the pre-production process for this movie, not planned before the script is even in place. However, this is a tool that Filoni and Jon Favreau, who is also executive producers to the movie, have mastered over the past few years. Ahsoka used it extensively, and The Mandalorian still remains the best use of it outside of maybe The Batman, though that film used it more limited in that capacity, and that's outside outside of the Star Wars spectrum. But as seen in plenty of the behind-the-scenes pictures and footage, Ahsoka also used a lot of blue screens, and reports from the time of shooting mentioned that the train yard at El Segundo would be a part of the production as well. That seems like the good guess for the location of the fight scene on Corellia in Episode 2. However, the volume does provide several big advantages over other tools. For one, it forces the production to take place in an indoors and highly controlled environment, which helps them prevent massive leaks, something that shooting outdoors doesn't always do. As Dave Filoni has pointed out, it's also the closest tool that he's had to the animation process, where he can work with the backgrounds and the environments ahead of time, and explore the full creative process with the actors doing so. It also speeds up the entire production as well, as the number of visual effects shot to be done in post-production is significantly reduced and is already in there. However, though, unfortunately, the volume also has some downsides to it, as we know, as Obi-Wan Kenobi showed us. Namely, it's trapped in a box feel that is also somewhat present in parts of Ahsoka so far here and there, although it's not a major complaint. This is something major that Andor definitely benefited from, and at the end, as Filoni kind of teased in ways that he can only do, the end result will probably be a combination of all different possibilities. I just hope that there isn't much of a disconnect though, however, between different scenes, as that it would feel different from one scene, like you could clearly tell that that was like filmed on location outside, and then going to a next scene that was clearly filmed with the volume. But as I had also mentioned, in Filoni we trust, and he definitely seems that he knows what he's doing and when it fits best for what certain scenario and situation of what you're trying to actually get. And as I had also mentioned, Andor benefited from not really using the volume all that much and just using that on-location set shooting of just outside, not using the volume or anything of that nature. The overall quality of Andor was a lot higher than any other Disney Plus Star Wars project that a lot of people have gone on to say, both fans and critics alike. That's not saying that the other qualities of these other Star Wars shows are absolutely horrible or anything of that nature. It's just that the volume isn't entirely 110% completely there, but I'm for sure very hopeful that by the time we roll around to Dave Filoni's movie, is that technology will 110% actually be there. Now, as of right now, there is no date yet for Dave Filoni's film, which is expected to come after The Mandalorian Season 4, which was supposed to start shooting this October, and which was in pre-production before the WGA strike put everything on pause in Hollywood. And a potential second season of Ahsoka as well, which isn't necessarily confirmed, but by all accounts is planned, and will be greenlit if the show's Season 1 is deemed a success by the studio. All things considered, it's highly unlikely we'll get this movie in theaters before 2026, and that it is still a ways out. This year all being said though, however, I want to know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What do you want to see with Dave Filoni's Mandoverse film? I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.